The fifth of the 7 classical forms of lightsaber combat was Djem, also known as Shien, or the Way of the Krayt Dragon. Developed to counteract the offensive limitations of Form 3, Form 5 was characterized by its powerful strikes and use of counterattacks. Shien, which is considered the more classical variant of the two, was more adept at blocking blaster bolts, whereas Djem was developed later and specifically designed for use in lightsaber combat. However, both variants placed heavy emphasis on using the opponent's strength against them, all the whilst maintaining an offensive advantage. Because of its aggressive and domineering nature, many Jedi, including the Jedi Battlemaster Sindralig, feared that Form 5 went against the Jedi Order's teachings, and therefore against its intrinsic values. However, even he acknowledged that, quote, "If it serves to suppress violent opposition and preserve peace, I believe it is a discipline worth knowing." Nevertheless, this did not stop Force users, Jedi and Sith alike, from mastering the form in its entirety. In addition, Form 5 is also considered the most physically demanding of all the forms, even more so than Ataru. Thus, practitioners of this form were required to be in excellent shape, and many, if not all, possessed a high level of physical strength. The most fitting example of one such being would be Darth Bane, the Dark Lord of the Sith during the era of the Old Republic, and the founder of the Rule of Two. Bane's abnormally large stature and great strength, complemented by the defensive and healing capabilities of the parasitic obelisks that spanned the length of his body, allowed him to be a near unstoppable duelist, waving off lightsaber attacks with his bare hands, while utilizing power attacks and brute force to knock opponents back and penetrate their defense, leaving them stunned and unable to counterattack. During the Duel of Tython, an Orbalisk-empowered Bane found himself against 2 highly qualified Jedi Masters, both of whom were being powered by the battle meditation of the Ithorian Jedi Master Daumat. Among his opponents were both Valentine Farfalla, the General of the Army of Light, and Ras Dalasu, one of the greatest lightsaber duelists of her era. However, despite their skills, Bane would prove more than a match for both of them. Using his Orbalisks to ward off the complicated sequences of Master Lasu, Bane then elbowed her in the ribs with enough strength to lift her off her feet and send her flying. Whilst the Yachani Battlemaster was momentarily incapacitated, Darth Bane clashed his lightsaber against Farfalla's with a devastatingly powerful blow, knocking the lightsaber out of the half-Bothan's hands. Having handled her lesser skilled 2 opponents, Zana, Bane's apprentice, would kill Master Lasu. And with only 2 Jedi left to face him, Darth Bane severed the Jedi Knight Johunathon's weapon hand with contemptuous ease, and then proceeded to use his brute force to disarm, then behead Master Farfalla. However, it was entirely possible for beings of lesser stature than Bane to successfully utilize Form 5. During his battle against the Sith Lord Count Dooku on Geonosis, Anakin Skywalker employed the Shien variant of Form 5. Utilized in a high guard, 2-handed grip position, Shien allowed its users to perform powerful step-through strikes, and was especially proficient in reflecting blaster fire. Famously used by Anakin was a maneuver called the Chien Deflection, where he would leap towards the opponent while simultaneously deflecting his or her weapon's fire. Despite this, Shien was not without its shortcomings. Much like Shi-Cho, the Shien variant was particularly weak against a single opponent, and thus the Djem variant would be developed. When he once again faced Count Dooku on the Invisible Hand, Anakin can be seen dropping into the Shien stance that he had used without success in their previous encounter, in hopes of deceiving the Count into making a rash mistake. Eventually, Dooku's overconfidence would be his downfall, as the young Jedi would return to his preferred Djem stance and, bolstered by the dark side, disarm and execute the Sith Lord. As Darth Vader, Anakin would employ a new variant of Form 5, utilizing a Darth Bane-esque fighting style centered around strength and brute force. Ultimately, Anakin's reliance on Form 5 would also be his undoing, as seen during his defeat at the hands of his own son, Luke Skywalker. As Skywalker would later comment, Form 5, whatever variant it may take, needed to have its aggression and desire to dominate balanced with compassion. If this condition was not met, the fall to the dark side would be swift and complete. Peace through superior firepower. Peace through whatever means necessary. Many of the greatest lightsaber duelists of all time were masters of Form 5, and their brutal effectiveness and efficiency epitomized the saying that the best defense was simply a better offense. And that is the way of Form 5. Thank you for watching, and may the Force be with you.